So just try. I want you to try this for a minute, a little test, just to really show the impact of the body. The topic I want to talk about today, guys, is emotional fitness. What it really means, and just having a way to being able to communicate to the people that we care about how we're really feeling. That's number two. But number one reason is to be able to communicate to ourselves and how we're really feeling. Okay? I think a lot of times when it comes to emotional distress, which, by the way, guys, there is two types of stresses, right? You've got distress, which I'm just going to put down here. Right, so we've got distress, and we've got another thing called eustress, right? Distress is the one where you're under distress, which is a bad stress, okay? There's two types of stresses, a good and bad. This one's a bad, this one's a good. When we're under distress, that's where our bodies go into a sort of destructive mode. We go out of a growth mode into destructive mode, okay? So whereas eustress is a different kind of stress. Eustress is like a physical exercise stress, where it's stress on the body, but yet it's a growth from it. There's a growth property to eustress. I think I spelled it right. Sorry if I didn't. I believe it's eustress. But either way, this one's the good stress. So the stress is not always a bad thing. But when we get into distress, that's where we get into pain. Okay? Which, by the way, distress is a way of, if I follow your stress, right? Because if I say to you, what are you stressed for? You sort of say, well, there's this going on in my life, this going on in my life, and I sort of follow that back. It'll take me to your deepest fear. Okay, so if I follow the trail to your stress, it will take me to your deepest fear. So if I say, you say something to me that's like, or someone says something, not you, but someone says something to me like, well, if I don't get this, then I ain't gonna get this. And I say, okay, then what? Yeah, well, if I don't get this, then I won't be able to achieve anything. Okay, then what? If that don't happen, then what? Well, then if you keep channeling that down, then it'll come down to something like, well, I won't get love, or I won't feel loved, or I don't feel there's any value in my life. There's going to be somewhere like that. So again, it's going to take me to your deepest fear if I follow your stress. So emotional fitness is really just figuring out what we're really feeling what are we really feeling? That's what I'm trying to say. So instead of trying to figure all this out and then just trying to really sit there and just indulge the emotion, because obviously there's good and bad emotions. Now, what I want to ask of you is, the first thing is, I want you to really sit and think about it for a minute. How shall I say? Just really sit and really get involved with this, guys, and participate, because I really think this will help you or bring some sort of value, or you'll be able to help someone else with this. I want you to sit there and then think about a situation that may have happened or may have not happened, and think about where emotionally you'd go first, right? Let's pick something like, something good. Let's say something good happens. Where do you go emotionally? Do you feel content? Do you feel happy? Do you feel like, whatever emotion it is, just really figure out what it is. Okay, I feel like this. Now, on the flip side, where do you go when you feel something bad happen? Let's say you get this negative response from someone. Where emotionally do you go first? Okay? So really just spend a minute now, just figure out, or if you have to close your eyes and just to really just get involved in your own experience, then just really sit down and just think about where you go first. Okay? This is called your emotional home. Okay? Your emotional home is your go-to emotions. Now, you may have multiple ones, right? Okay? So your go-to emotions is what you feel on a day-to-day basis, okay? So if you've got certain emotions, you go to, say, let's go anger, or you go to depression, let's say. Let's get a real deep one in there. Or let's say, okay, you got anger, depression, or you got resent. Let's just take those three, and Think about these words just for a minute. Sorry, fucking. How have I spelled depression? Sorry, that's either way. You know what it is. You think about these words for a minute, right? You take anger, you take depression, you take resent. Those words have power to them, don't they? Okay? Because the words we use on a regular basis, really dictate and control our life. Okay? So, which is why, by the way, guys, a lot of people don't realize this. Words, when you write something out, it's called spelling. You're spelling to yourself. Like a witch, you're spelling like way, or Harry Potter is one. You're spelling. Okay, so our words have impact. So if you've got some, like, let's say these are like negatively charged words. Let's say that because, as we know, we've got like an electrical impulse in our body. There's a certain electrical magnetism inside of us, right? So these are negative charged emotions. Let's say if you've got these three emotions with ones, let's say they're negative ones, negatively charged emotions. Then let's say you've got these positive ones, which is, content, or, like, let's just say content, please, and even like a little more of a happy one. Like, let's just put happy. Right, there's only one problem with these. I mean, I don't know if you can notice the power in language. But if you've got, say, three, I mean, first of all, let me just like remind people or let people know if you're not too sure, most people will feel about 12 emotions in a week. Okay? If I was to say to you how many emotions do you feel in a week, it's normally about 12, which is kind of weird, really, because most humans, we can feel up to, say, something like a ridiculous amount of number, like 25,000 emotions, but they are subcategorized to about 27 because some of them are very similar. Okay, so there's 27 emotions that we can feel, but most of us only feel 12 in a week. Means we're like holding back on so many different emotions we don't even know, right? But either way, what I was trying to say is if you've got, say, these three, let's say, you've got these three negatively charged emotions trying to overpower, or no, sorry, if you've got these three positively charged, which ain't really positively charged at all, if you say to yourself these words to yourself, content, pleased, happy, there's not really much enthusiasm there, is there? I mean, you can give it more enthusiasm how you say it, but yet the word itself doesn't really vibe as much as these do as a negatively charged, as opposed to depression. Very, there's a good charge to that, So if you've got these very low positively charged emotions against these real negatively charged emotions, these are going to override these every time. Okay? So it's important to aware and see where we're at emotionally and what we say to ourselves on a regular basis, our emotional home, and say like the 12 emotions we feel in a week. So it's really important, guys, that we sort of figure out what we do feel on a regular basis, because again, automatic pilot will just take over. And sometimes some people never come out of that. Okay? They never actually even think about like being able to try and change anything in their life. But it's very important that we do. Because if we don't take control of this area, the environment or someone else will. Okay? So anything that comes in and out of our life, we got to understand that we're in control of this. We get to decide, or we get to design our life how we want. No one can tell us how we should do it. You just got to do it how you want, because every day it's all right. Someone giving you advice, of course, that's fine. But at the end of the day, the person who's got to live in your body every day is you. So it's important that you take charge of this. You go to places that help you, that empower you, rather than disempower you. All right.